clearly, now that I send them, no, the president will do so. So it is quite unfortunate that Senator Johnson will say that somebody sent people to attack his church. It's not true. My disagreement with him is political. It involves no violence. We have a democratic process. He's a member of the opposition. I support the ruling coalition. So yes, we will have exchanges about political views, but that will never go to the point of violence. We are the government, we are the protector of the peace of the state, and we'll continue to do so.
Mr. Nabwe, what political differences do you have with Senator Johnson? Because he's claiming that the people who went there to his church were wearing some regalia that relate to the ruling coalition. So what kind of political difference do you have with him?
Like I said, I recently conducted an interview where I expressed the fact that his opposition to the president, he's been making a lot of statements that are inaccurate. For example, he spoke in Nimba and said that the president was responsible for killings, which is very laughable. He also said that the developmental activities that are happening in Nimba are not because of the president, which is also true. The road development construction.
You see this warning from the people yesterday? It's a warning that will tire with you. We'll tire with you. Don't force yourself on, we'll vote you out. Sedition say, we will take it, but we'll take it. We will not, we will take it. We defy them to take it. We defy them. In fact, another bill coming out was Sultan. Another, before October election, Liberians are coming out under the caption, don't try it, don't try it. Any attempt, the people's power will be exercised with the Arab Spring. You will shoot your gun, you will kill us, or you will die. But no more fear. Liberians don't have fear anymore.
I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nimba County to take the lead, and Nimba will win in the name of Jesus. Basa with us, Bapolu with us, bombing with us, Lofa with us, Bon County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother, what I do?
All right.
You got to change because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole berege. We're fighting for you. Equals our moment. Nimba will win. Abio battle. Abu make up paper a cocarozi. And we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president, the woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing the job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing the job for him. Can he go everywhere? No.
On the road, at home, or at work, follow the live, factual, and unbiased analysis.
Pleasant welcome to another Brand new edition of the program, Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. This program comes away every day. That's Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Welcome to the dawning of a new day. A new government, same people, but under different managerial hand or under different manager. Welcome. Liberians are going to be recruited to work under this administration, but there's a new management now in place. Liberians are yearning for a better day. Many troops at the polling places, they voted for this administration. I believe they're few accomplished, but I'm very sure a lot more in their minds that they expect this regime to do. Good morning and welcome. This morning we're going to be having a conversation with one of Liberia's renowned lawyers in person of Councillor Kunle Kanga. He's going to be joining us from 8 to 9 o'clock to talk about a variety of national issues ranging from the inaugural program, a new government taking office, transition process, what we as administration, what if you were to reflect, what to remember, the good, the bad, the ugly. My name is Matthias Labini. I'm here with my colleague Julius Akobwe Boki. We'll be right back after this break. That's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We're here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. My name is Matthias Labindi, and I'm here with my colleague Julius Akobwe Boki. We're here to bring you breakfast at no other station does. Like I said this morning, we're going to be having a conversation with one of Liberia's renowned lawyers. That's Councillor Kunle Kanga. Is going to be our guest from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There are several issues to look at here this morning. Too many developments here unfolding in Liberia. We urge you to be our guest. Join us. Let's have a conversation about Liberia and the variety of issues of national concern. Oh, Julius, good morning.
Well, good morning, Matthias, and good morning, everyone. Hope the night was okay.
Yeah, great. It was a great night, and it's good to be up this morning and moving on, doing what you love doing best, and hoping for a better Liberia despite the many challenges that we wake up to every day. So, but it was great.
Okay, mine was also great. But let me just inform our listeners and viewers that you can also follow us on our platforms, Sky Communications, Liberia Facebook page,
Right.
Liberia Public Radio Facebook page. We are there. We are also on Sky FM and TV, Liberia YouTube channel live,
Right.
and then also live on Liberia Public Radio YouTube channel live as well. So you can follow us on either of them, and then you can drop your comments. And trust me, we're going to read it out before the program ends. It was a good one. Last night I had a time to be out late with my fiancée, and I tend to agree with you when you and I had a backstage, right? Backstage conversation that it's good to have a car, for the family.
Right.
So last night, my fiancée and I were leaving because she's graduating a charity from UND. So we had a class night last night, and we had to rush to get home because no car. Thinking that the fear, and of course, that people will end is very, very bad. But great, by the grace of God, I had to get home and left other friends there who were comfortable, have the car. So in my mind, I said,
so you got to you.
yeah, it got to me. So
All right.
I said, my next project, maybe we have to
You have to
get a car. Well, 3,000 I said, I need to get it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's in cars in the system.
Yeah, because last night, we had I want to have a good time with our colleagues, but we could not. Because the time we were watching, here, a lot of people them by 10, 11. Anyway,
Right.
but it was a good time, and so we are here this morning.
And it's good to be here today.
How's the family?
Yeah, great. Don't take car business for granted.
My daughter came here Saturday to do a homework. They see some lady
Is it
yesterday.
Saturday or Monday?
Monday to do a homework.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They see some lady yesterday.
Yes, I think that so she did. The fact that she was even risky to come to town.
I tell you.
People that are moving.
I was surprised when she came. I said,
All right.
so they kind of inauguration day, he came from wake out to work. He said, yeah. Well, I said, okay, I want to open it. But what I see is that she'll be smarter than you.
Well, it's like the beautiful ones are not yet born.
I mean, I'm telling you, take it from your daughter will be more smarter than you.
Well, let's see.
I mean, to see her at that age, and she loves books. She loves reading.
She does it.
When it comes to assignments, she's eager to do it alone with me, man. That's good for her. I mean, on her part. And I
Right.
was proud of her when she said, I came to do my assignment. We go submit. I say, yeah. There's the typical material I've been.
You know, she has an email. So usually when I'm not busy, she sends me email and I just look at do some research and send her the raw work. So she take her
She'll go edit.
do the editing and then what she wants to do. Okay, double match.
I want to get a girl child.
Julius,
I have a boy. I need to get a girl child.
well, Julius and JP, man. Let's move on. We have a couple of things this
Yeah,
morning.
let's go.
A couple of things to talk about this morning. I don't know whether the speaker has made an appointment yet.
Yeah.
I do have it. If you have it, Julius.
I need to be check and continue. Let me check it quickly.
So first, while you're looking at that, let's bring
But one of the names are there. Our man has
Emmanuel
gone to
down.
be position, man.
He's the chair on executive,
Yeah,
right?
chair executive.
Oh yeah, man. My man.
I
Listen,
told you, I said I know get position.
but wait, listen, Julius. Listen now.
Eh.
I told a friend of mine who worked in a WIA's administration, and that was in 2019 when he started exhibiting some funny attitude. One day I had a conversation with him. I said, "Listen, 6 years for me feels like 6 years. But trust me, this thing will pass. There's no need for you guys to exhibit arrogance against your friends and we'll make new friends, right? I'm not saying this to say that because you're a journalist, it means that we cannot have friends.
No,
we
my
do have
friend.
friends.
My friend.
In the same way you didn't have the first $5 to make a real radio and here, you went there and that's and this and that. So you opportunities in the minister and things, and you say, no, that guy is nothing. You just talk that rock, the mansion.
And then after doing the match,
Yeah, he should
talking passes.
never pass the to the mansion. So no problem. And today we have new good friends, we see them differently from the previous guys, that were in power. This is no bright about the fact that some of these people will come back from social in terms of what these people did to the world, they are solving the political situation. But we're happy for them. We're happy for all of our friends, for all of those people that we interact with in so many ways. We're happy that they are getting opportunity to share and
So Emmanuel Dan took the position of the council.
right.
It's a big position there.
Yeah,
You are serving between the liaison officer
Yeah.
between the executive branch of government
Absolutely.
and the legislative branch of
Even
government.
during the
So,
time of transition,
congratulations to him. Yeah.
even during the time of transition, the chair and executive is out.
Yeah. So,
The
yeah.
chair and executive, it shows that there is this everything coming from the executive. Most of the time, he or she represents the executive.
So Emmanuel Dan work starts now.
That's the same way this did the work.
Yeah.
With the transition in
Yeah.
2017.
So the work starts
2018,
now because
Yeah.
Monday the president will be we'll be there a sauna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to be there. But let me go through it. Let me go
Now,
through it
before you
quickly.
do that, Julius,
Mm.
let's go to NAPA.
Okay.
Yeah, NAPA is doing, Emma Glasgow, despite its fact that the president that appointed, yesterday I tried to make logic out of the Constitution. And I know when the councillor came, he was correct me. I said, well, we say usually that when the citizen is appointed, he or she works at the will and pleasure
Of the president. Yeah.
Now, it did not say the president. So when
The
you say-
president.
Yeah, when you say a president, you are specific about a particular president.
Mm.
Out of Georgia, Ellen or so. But it says that person who's appointed works at the will and pleasure of the president.
Whether you support the
So-
president,
so-
whether the president can meet you.
Okay, so whoever becomes president, that person still works on the will and pleasure of that person. So if I were a government official at this time, during this transition, I will not withdraw my office. I will not take any pop as far as I'm concerned. I'm still an appointed official. All right, the president that got elected, he has not relieved me of my duties yet, so I'll be there. working along with the transitional team until the president can say, Matthias, no longer need your service, go and rest, the other Liberians come and work. Anyway, that's just the logical side of it. Right. So I say this to mean that Emma keeps, doing her work. And I say this because there's a press release, let me read it quickly. The government of Liberia, through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, has disclosed that the commissioning of the Moroccan newly constructed state-of-the-art scientific research vessel will take place this Friday, January 26, 2025. The ceremony will take place at the Bong Mines here near the people of Morocco. It can be recalled in January to the London conclude the Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Honorable Emma Metia Glasgow, and the Moroccan Minister of Agriculture, Maritime Fisheries, Rural Development, Water and Forest, His Excellency Mohammed Sadiki, signed an agreement that will allow the Moroccan research vessel to conduct an independent stock assessment on Liberia's territorial water to ascertain its commercial viability and attract further investment. The NAFA press release is quoted as saying that the Moroccan Minister of Agriculture, Maritime Fisheries, Rural Development, Water and Forest, Mohammed Sadiki, and his entourage are expected in Liberia Thursday, January 25, 2024, for a commissioning ceremony along with other regional fisheries cabinet ministers from Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Conakry, among others. Liberia is also expecting the Secretary General and Presidents of Regional Fisheries Management Organizations, RFMOs, to this historic event. The stock assessment is aimed at gathering data which has long undermined the fisheries sector and shall be useful to develop management plan, governance, and also to ascertain its commercial viability. The stock assessment, when completed, will trigger industrialization of the Liberian fisheries sector. So this process, I think this is the second time it's happening. The first time it was done was in January 2023 when this stock assessment was done, and we got information that at least we have an appreciable amount of marine species in our water. So I think this is more like checking your bank account, right? Your balance in the bank. So I think this is a good scientific initiative launched by the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority with support from our partners. The Moroccan are coming now to do some stock assessment. They have their research vessel to come and do stock assessment and tell us that, all right, I'm just receiving the link about the speaker appointing. So yeah, what you're going through, I'll be looking at as well. So they'll be telling us that, well, Matthias or Liberians, this is what you people have. You have this kind of species. You have whales. You have other species in the water. It's important for us to let you know that with all these possessions, this is what your nation this is how your nation is seen out there. And Emma is a workaholic. I believe that. I hope I'm invited to form part of the team that will be going there to.
The small guys can have you.
Well, yeah, certainly. But I will get in touch with Emma today. Secondly, I'm going to place a call what to do to see whether this is something that can be broadcast live or sometimes we have a reporter there that will also have an experience of how these things are. So that's it for that. And Julius, I don't know whether you've heard, according to Liberia, the Liberia Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative report, the question report, ArcelorMittal Liberia up to the list of extractive companies involved in the extractive sector, particularly the mining area, that are being the highest contributor of revenue to the national budget.
But that I don't think that is surprising.
Yeah, it never carried out.
That's surprising. Right. So when I saw it, I said, well, that's normal thing. But that's a good one. I think Letty, when President Weah took office initially, there was a ruler balloon on Letty. So Letty there, right?
Yeah. That was sending the wrong person.
Yeah, they sent Gabriel. In fact, somehow they were battling the person,
right.
And then they removed the person and then sent Gabriel Nyeka. They stopped talking. When they get on
When he was misplaced, but at least he realized later on, and he became the communication kind of director of communication specialist, advisor, right, to the president, at the executive mansion. I don't know how effective that position of his was, but yeah, he served in that capacity. Right. So, Digas, let's get the list. Let's get the list of the speaker's list.
I have few appointments. Let me go to it quickly. I think the speaker will do it day by day. I don't see him doing it every day. What is it? Let me get it right here.
But I have it here. Let me read the
Okay, go ahead.
the new John story. It's not long. The speaker of the members of three statutory committees of the House of Representatives, highlighting his commitment to effective governance and legislative excellence. According to Speaker Cooper, the newly appointed chairs and co-chairs will play pivotal roles in shaping policies and decisions within their respective committees. Those committees appointed during the fourth day sitting of the first session of the 55th legislature are Rules and Order, chaired by Bong County District 5 Representative J. Marvin Cole. He's the chair on Rules and Order, Marvin Cole, and co-chaired by Montserrat County District 15 Representative Abu Kamara. All right, also appointed a Foreign Affairs Committee chaired by Representative Ta Z Wongbo. Oh, Foreign Affairs Committee. Yeah, Ta Wongbo. This is right here. This is well placed. Representative Ta Z Wongbo of Yumba County District 9 and co-chaired by Montserrat County District 11 Representative Richard Nandistan, while the committee executive is chaired by Representative Emmanuel Dan of Montserrat County District 7 and Representative Simon Enders as co-chaired respectively. The Rules and Order Committee is instrumental in ensuring the orderly conduct of legislative proceedings. The work of experience and dedication of its leadership to upholding parliamentary procedures will contribute to a transparent and efficient legislative process. The Foreign Affairs Committee, led by Representative Ta Z Wongbo, will oversee matters of international relations and diplomacy. The expertise of its leadership will be vital in navigating global issues and fostering positive relationships with other nations, advancing the interests of Liberia. The Executive Committee, under the guidance of Representative Emmanuel Dan as chair and Representative Simon Enders as co-chair, will focus on matters related to the executive branch and government administration. Meanwhile, Speaker Cooper has expressed confidence in the appointment by appointed members, stating, "I am confident that these distinguished individuals will bring their unique skills and perspectives to their respective committees, contributing to the overall success of our legislative agenda. Together, we will work towards building a stronger and more prosperous Nigeria." These appointments mark a significant step forward in the House's committee to fostering collaboration, transparency, and excellence in legislative affairs. I think so far all these people that are appointed are people that they've been around, except Mr. Daniel got elected, Taiwan got elected.
Yeah.
But in terms of their work, Mr. Dan worked at the foreign ministry before, looking at debts, out of debts or office or something.
Yeah.
But he's got some experience in working in the corridors of power. He understands how the executive works.
Understand diplomacy.
Yeah, diplomacy as well. So I'm very sure. And in fact, even his composure during the speakership election, how he has this soft spot for the Unity Party, but yet he supported openly and even served as one of the campaign chairs.
He was a spokesman for the Fonati team.
Yeah, Fonati team. He openly supported Fonati. It tells you that.
But that's a good one.
Yeah, there's a man who can call. Yeah, because
congratulations to him. And I think it was a good appointment for Mr. Dan.
Right.
Because you remember when he came here asking, I said, well, I don't know which side you're going. Well, even though you want independent candidate on ticket, but when JMB birthday came, I saw him all day. He was so involved. So everybody was thinking, okay, maybe you go to the Unity Party side. And then later on, when the speakership battle started, he went on the opposite side. So I got confused. I asked that question. I said, man, I'm a Liberian. I'm looking for Liberian. So it's not a bad thing. And serving as chair of the executive, especially getting our work experience at the foreign ministry. I mean, he will work to a long time. The end of one person who is yet to accept, I have not heard the others yet, who is yet to accept the appointment is Honorable Richard Nangwekong. Yesterday, I listened to an interview with a group of journalists. They asked him about the position, and the speaker gave him. He said, well, the position is there, but he's going to meet his team to discuss it. If it is good, then fine. If it's not good, then we'll take a decision. So I don't know whether it's going to be a battle or whatsoever, but I mean, for me, I see all of these appointments to be good, especially when you got a man as Kyle Wongwe. Kyle Wongwe,
Right.
serving as the chair on the Foreign Affairs Committee. And you say it's a good one. Why you call it a good one?
Ta, as a young man, listening to his story, over time, he's one person who's been able to build a company. He has this consultancy called Kana companies. He's currently in about 6 or 7 or 10 countries now. Right. Yeah. And the latest one he established was about Ghana or Nigeria. There's something we're trying to get targeted.
Yeah, we'll get it.
But I'm saying to you that to have that, understanding. In fact, told the story one time listening to the world, learning to build himself.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And one thing about A. Matthias, I like the way the speaker is doing it. He involving all of the newcomers to say, oh yeah, you are new, but you can take the position. So that's what I like. But Matthias, one thing you talk about. Did you watch yesterday that the EPA director, Wilson Tapet, took the workers to court?
Yesterday?
Yes.
No, I didn't follow that.
The workers are not agitating. They said, it's trying to aspire, send the president going, should go, blah, 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 what happened. And yesterday, group of journalists were in the office. In fact, the first clip I saw was that they were at the court. And the men took the workers to court from the EPA.
Did you listen to what I said that I tried to make logic out of the Constitution yesterday? Professor Wilson Tapet is a knowledgeable. I would have done the same thing if I were appointed in government by the president, George Weah.
According to the man said the appointment for 7 years. But now they are behind the middle leave because we are gone.
But if that's a tenure position,
they according to them, they said they either created the EPA says that the executive officer and should be appointed based on the recommendation of some kind of board, and I think the board.
Yeah, you should have these.
So the general asked him, "Were you recommended by the board?" He said, "Well, how do I know? How I didn't appoint myself? I should go and ask the person that appointed me to say, did you ask the board? Did the board recommend me?" And I try to draw logic from there to say, oh, you asking the mayor, were you appointed or you recommended by the board? So he said, well, I don't know. The person appointed me. So I should go and ask the president, did you get it from the board? No. He appointed me, so I'm there.
So say the president is in error. I mean, the honorable thing that the workers could do is to wait the new president takes down, and take the matter time by time, let stage by stage. Preventing him, he's still a board. He's still a
the Temple of Justice.
But you know, Julius,
and the interviews, that was long anyway.
For me, what I think is, I think that there was an existing issue. So they couldn't wait for the years administration.
Yeah, the moment they do the 10 OS, they joined him.
That was bad. They didn't do well. I didn't follow the story, but I listened to him partly last night on phone. He was on that platform. I started listening to him at a larger part of the conversation. He was addressing a couple of issues. This issue with about environmental issues. I even sent my text after that and getting a forest power tomorrow. Since we've been talking more about the environment. But Julius, as we're approaching the VOA news, just a quick recap. You listen to us talk about people appointing 3 committee members. There are 6 in total because each committee has a head and a deputy, and a co-chair, a chair and a co-chair. So I was talking about Tar one day. I believe Tar will be a good person in that position as chair on foreign affairs. given that he's a business person, he is interacting with a lot of people internationally, whereas in Kodakros, he's not a selfish thing in terms of interacting with people. A businessman has ears to listen, to have a mind, to be able to decipher what they've heard, whether this is something they can incorporate in their business or not. So they will listen and to cut across and ensure that it brings that kind of respect that everybody at the house needs. I find that was very interesting.
Okay, so let's join the VOA for 5 minutes of news. We'll come back. They say I'll get it around, right? Let's join the VOA and be right back.
War from spilling over into a wider conflict. Both strikes were targeting Iranian-backed proxy weapons sites that the U.S. has said are involved in the strikes against U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria and launching anti-ship missiles and drones that threaten commercial vessels in the Red Sea. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres Tuesday said it was unacceptable for Israel's government to reject a two-state solution to its conflict with the Palestinians. UA's Rick Pantaleo.
The United Nations Secretary General warned that Israel's rejection of a two-state solution would embolden extremists everywhere.
The entire population of Gaza is enduring destruction at a scale and speed without parallel in recent history. Nothing can justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
The 15-member UN Security Council has long backed the idea of two states living side by side inside secure and accepted borders. The Palestinians want a state in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza Strip, all territory captured by Israel in 1967. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
Turkey's parliament approved Sweden's NATO membership.
Sweden and Finland asked to join NATO in 2022 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Turkey surprised some members by raising objections. It said the two countries protected groups that Ankara deems terrorists. In April of last year, it endorsed Finland's membership, but along with Hungary, kept Sweden waiting. In response, Sweden introduced a new anti-terrorism bill that makes being a member of a terrorist organization illegal.
That's Reuters' Christy Colburn reporting. This is VOA News. South African police arrested a man who says he started a fire that left 76 people dead to hide another killing. Is Alexis Strobe.
A man has been arrested hours after he claimed responsibility for starting a building fire in South Africa last year that killed 76 people while trying to get rid of the body of someone he had killed. The man's apparent confession came as a shock when he was testifying at an ongoing inquiry into the cause of the fire. South African media reports of the testimony said that he testified that he had strangled a man in the basement of the rundown apartment complex before setting his body on fire. Police said later Tuesday that they had arrested a 29-year-old man in connection with the fire after he had confessed to being involved in the fire at the inquiry. The man wasn't identified. I'm Alexis Strobe, VOA News.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have joined forces at a rally in the U.S. state of Virginia outside of Washington as they push for abortion rights. First Lady Jill Biden and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff were also there Tuesday at what was the first joint appearance by all four of them since the 2024 campaign began. China's ambassador to the UN in Geneva rejected criticism from Western democratic societies at a UN Human Rights Council meeting on Tuesday, defending its treatment of Uyghurs, Tibetans, and dissidents in Hong Kong. Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
Western democracies attending the conference viewed China's glowing report about its accomplishments on behalf of its people with skepticism. The U.S. ambassador to the UN in Geneva, Michelle Taylor, called for the release of all people arbitrarily detained, an end to torture and persecution throughout China. While delegates were verbally sparring with China inside the council chamber, several human rights groups were demonstrating against China's repressive policies outside the UN building. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken pitched the United States as a better security partner for Africa in place of Russia's Wagner military and mercenary group, which he accuses of exploiting coup-hit and conflict-hit nations, turning to it for help in the continent's Sahel region. Nigeria, where he visited as part of an African tour to strengthen relations. Blinken said Tuesday that the U.S. will continue to support Nigeria, as well as other regional partners, to help stabilize the Sahel region. You can find more at voanews.com. I'm Tommy McNeil, VOA News. You can find more at voanews.com.
I will tell David, I went and bought 20 baskets and set every one of them. The next day when I went, I popped nothing went in my basket. So my son told me, he said, look, can you just try the basket in the sun? That for a coral roof for one of them. That's how I will love them. I was very hesitant. But I followed the advice of my son and we set the baskets. The next day when we went, nothing but cripples report. So you see, the water was depending on no cabin was inside. I have life boats. They wonder why you are no cabin now. You wonder what your heart don't know. No cabin inside. But they put up behind your house. And you can get some paper. The woman your heart don't know. She may not be your wife. But the one you are overlooking, she will be your everlasting partner. The man you are looking at, he may not be your husband. But the one you are overlooking, he will support you very well. Who people hard to find? Who you hard to find? Who you hard to find? They are precious with time. When God you get one, you better hope out to that person. Of the people they blend it, they cover on the phone. If you don't take time to work on them, you will sleep and hate yourself. That operation bad people.
That's right, Julius. I hope you heard that. Sometimes you keep your focus on one thing, that thing may not be the right one for you. You have to keep looking around. Sometimes you can even look in the potter. And you grab you catch the grip on the grantas and all the big faces, right? But that's right. Welcome to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. We privilege this New Year's Day, New Year, to have in the studio here at Sky, Councillor Kingley Kanga. Last time I came, you I said small in the Bible, very powerful. Yeah, I was actually introducing a small man, very powerful. Yeah, and he's here with us today. But let's recognize the father. That's Representative Solomon Claudius George. For us, you remain a representative. Whether you
once a soldier,
you remain a representative. You will always be a representative to us and to some of your friends and your sons and little brothers. By the way, Julius, today is his birthday.
Oh wow!
We celebrate 68 years of existence.
Happy birthday,
happy birthday to Solomon Claudius George.
Dr. J.
Yeah, Dr. J. Find his song. You know that song? At the end of the show, you know the song.
Jimmy Cliff.
I can see clearly
Jimmy Cliff.
now the rain is done. He said, yeah, the Gala drawing our faces. Not against Oh man, no, we have to take him on.
Yeah.
At the end of the show for at least 1 minute. But good morning, Councillor Kanga. Like Solomon George, humble old man. Welcome, sir. Pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Good news.
Thank you for listening. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate this opportunity, especially the new year.
Right.
Not only the new year, but the new that's actually brought a new year. So it's a moment of joy. I know my friends are still celebrating, the Liberians are celebrating. At this time, we are actually outside of party politics.
Right.
We are now at a point to begin to discuss what we can do and how we do it to actually enhance our civilization on a new regime. So thank you for actually inviting me here today.
Right. Did you attend the inaugural program? Were you invited?
No, I was not. My wife was invited.
Okay.
She was at the program. I was home alone with my kids, and we followed the program
Online.
On online. Yes, we did.
But let's backtrack a bit. You know, you're one of few lawyers in this country that stood to the WIA's administration concerning some ills in the society. Whether you were representing a client, in the court, or you are invited on a talk show to talk about issues of national concern, you'd never mention words and issues affecting the people. Some administrative issues that you saw that were not proper. Today, that administration is no more. We have a new one. Let's look back, in summary, what to remember: the good, the bad, the ugly about WIA.
Well, thank you.
Let's begin with the ugly.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, it's a very difficult and challenging question, and one that seems personal other than being scholarly. Well, the regime of WIA and my advocacy has not been tailored directly to a WIA regime. I've been trained by the government in order to understand and study what the rule of law is, that will serve as a basis to enhance our economic and social development. And in order to do that, you need to follow the trend of time. And all I was doing along with others was to follow the trend of time. And there were a number of missteps. So you said the ugly. One of the ugliest movement of the previous regime was the issue of segregation and threats.
Segregation and threats.
Yeah.
That was coming directly from the regime?
Yeah. There was a philosophy under that regime that was referred to as "it is our time."
But folks here now are saying the same thing.
It's different.
Folks from this new regime are beginning to say that it's their time to.
If anyone use that terminology, it's outside of what the president has told you.
Okay.
The philosophy that has been projected by President Boaga, he has said that during the campaigning period, he said that in his inaugural address, is the philosophy or the phenomenon of protecting your vote. What does that mean in terms of protecting your vote? That the president said previously before being president, and what that actually means now is something that we actually have to dissect. I see that as meaning a framework of broader participation into the governing framework. I see that as meaning a process where all Liberians will have the opportunity to express their wishes, to express their dislike about the government, to express their frustration, and to promote or to project new ways of doing things. To do new ways of doing things, it required looking at the country from the point of view of a holistic framework, nationalism, and inclusivity. And it cannot be based on a narrow agenda that is our time. Anyone who uses that, whether you support the regime or you don't support the regime, you are outside of the thinking of the president.
Because contextualize for me the issue of segregation that you highlight as one of the ugliest things that happened during the George U.S. administration. How ugly is segregation that it affects a nation when a government in place is employing such attitude?
What it gets people to be afraid. They live in the unknown. Every day you wake up, you don't know what you are going to have the next day. For example, personally, I received nothing less than 3 text messages to me, threat phone calls from ministers in government, from people in the security sector, and they say, look, there will be a situation. For example, if I were representing a party, but if I had to come to your radio station, I didn't even say them, because if I say them, a lot of people will be afraid. I will get text messages and say, don't go there. We know where you are, Kanga Kanga. I'm seeing you wearing this, right? There was
And they'll
threat.
describe what you're
They
wearing.
would describe what I was wearing. They would
Wow.
describe what I was going. I was on threat on the daily basis. In fact, at a certain point in time, it was pronounced the word threats. If I had come here on the station, if you actually notice,
Mhm.
there will be one or two person who will already be set to make sure they have to listen to it, and have to call, and have to threaten me. So it's not just me as a person, being segregated against in your own country, but there were a number of people that were so threatened. At a certain point in time, on that philosophy, as it was being implemented, is our time. Yeah, our time. That philosophy was broken by President Weah doing his concession speech. One of the things he said it is now time that will actually put the nation first below a political party. That was a breaking. He broke that particular philosophy that look, this country is our time.
Well,
right?
that time had expired, so he didn't have any choice but to concede.
No, it's not a conceding. You must learn from history. The presidency has no school. The parting word of the president is an attempt to teach the new one that is coming into power. The president has said and told us clearly, President Weah then, that it is time, right, to put your nation first.
Mm.
When the president said that, it was a departure away from that philosophy of it is our time. Our time philosophy is discriminatory, and it's an act that can be compared to an apartheid system. Now, that system, it was so bad. You felt that in the justice and security sector.
Mm.
You felt that in the service delivery of the nation. You felt that in all sector. That's what it was. And it was clouded by corruption. The president was corrupt. All those that were him were,
The president?
were massive. Indeed. He was extremely corrupt.
You're not alleging. Are you speaking?
No, it's true.
Are you speaking
No.
with facts
Yeah,
to
with
say
facts.
Indeed.
he was extremely corrupt?
Indeed.
Wow.
There is something that's referred to as left side audit. You don't need
Yeah,
to
that was
conduct a full
introduced
audit.
by a lawmaker
Yeah.
in Gambia.
The
I don't
left
know where they
side
implemented
audit.
And I used to hear Councillor Gonglo talking about lifestyle audit.
Indeed.
All the programs he appeared on.
Left side audit is a transparency tool that will measure who you are today before you got a job
Mhm.
and who you will be
When
while
you
are in
should
the
have
job.
gotten it.
For example, Councillor Kanga, now everybody knows me to be a very poor man.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But take this back.
Okay.
Do you know the Kangas have been very successful people? Do you know them?
Very successful. So I don't
The
know why
Kangas
you.
have been involved in leadership. But most time when they're in leadership, they're service leadership. If you were to have a conversation now with Dada Abbas Kanga,
Are you related to Yombli Kanga?
do not discuss relationship. The point I'm
No,
discussing,
but it's Kanga, sir.
Yeah.
Because Yombli Kanga's father, he left a mark. I don't know whether he's late now. Sorry.
Don't say
No, he's still
Dada
alive.
Kanga.
Oh, that's a Kanga.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. Sorry,
Yeah, he's
sorry.
in- he's in
I mean,
Grand Bassa.
I've heard a lot about him, about the contribution he made in Grand Bassa County. And even beyond.
We can discuss that another day. But,
But
Dada
that's not a
Kanga-
family. It's
yeah,
not a family link.
Dada Kanga is a family member.
Oh, okay.
But-
Yeah. So yeah.
But that's the point.
Right.
So Dada Kanga and other who have actually served as Kanga in the leadership,
Mhm.
many of them, they have actually served. Service is key. And that's why I found that the Kanga and the other people in his age range would have been living in Europe or in America. But he's here contributing. But that's another thing. But the point is, if you were to follow what we had, like you say, that was a misgiving. One of the pluses.
You were specific about Weah's corruption. You just want
Weah
you're talking
corruption.
about lifestyle
Yeah, so
audit
the
and how you
lifestyle
want
audit,
to align
yeah.
it with how he's corrupt and all of that.
Exactly. So lifestyle audit will tell you that indeed a man who went to power declared his asset in secrecy, very afraid in order to actually displace that to anyone. 1 week, to be sarcastic about it, he tended to be millionaire, breaking down a building that he built in his did of his
The
profession.
soccer days.
Broke that down and built something that nothing less than 20 to 50 million pounds.
Wow.
Now, if you know what is the salary of the president, the salary of the president as it is, right, is around $450,000 per year. Even if you do nothing at all, you cannot build a building that will cost $1 million.
Is that amount fixed? Is it constitutional or is changeable?
The budget is run on a yearly basis, right? And if you saw the budget, it might go up depending on the situation. The salary could go up as well, but it's around that.
Okay.
But one of the things that happened in the legislature due to the corrupt nature, right? I hope Yumli and other people will not actually engage into that. They've been able to design the budget in a way that makes it difficult to find out what the salary is in for the lawmaker themselves. They put that in gasoline, they put that in transportation. They have to be very clear about it and say, this is the salary of the legislature. We need to clean that budget up. I know we now have a new minister right there. We have a new director of the budget. That budget has got to be changed to reflect what the true expenditure is for the legislature. The legislature has been one of the most corrupt institutions. You know that they take brown envelope, wet envelope, just anything. I'm told the last time they had to take $2 million in an attempt to confirm Councillor Dane and
but they were not confirmed anyway.
But it couldn't have been confirmed. You know, it was just a disservice. But so we are talking about the disservice, or what I consider as some of the odds. Corruption in all sectors. For example, in our region, my son had a job. He has got to go to London to work for like a month, and he was required to get a police clearance done. And he has gone to process the police clearance there at the Liberia National Police headquarters. Paid the fees, started the process, and every step of the way, he was being asked to pay a bribe. And because he had been told not to pay a bribe, today he had not been able to get a police clearance. It tells you how corrupt that place is. Not only that, even in the schools. My son comes to me crying and says, look, you want me to live with transparency, but it hurts me. For example, I have a supervisor here, right, who, according to the arrangement here, I'm to bring in someone referred to as a ward, because I don't know the process. I asked my supervisor, please supervise it for me. And what the supervisor did to that little boy? Took the money that was paid by that student and he consumed it. Today he has $30,000 to give to my son, $30,000. The boy cannot get that, and it's in one of the merited schools. I'm told the school is in pins with it, but corruption hurts. And
so this not just from
government,
from the top. It's even coming down to the ordinary, because you earlier accused Georgia of corruption. You pointed out the fact that his salary is around $400,000 annually, and he's built properties for himself over time. Your assumption is that you are assuming that he's corrupt because of the way he acquired these properties, comparing with what he came with, even though he did not make it public. He said he could not disclose his asset because he has a family to protect, because he came as a millionaire in Liberia. He didn't want to tell Liberians that he's worth 80 million, 90 million or so.
That is
and all of that.
So
he kept it.
Yeah, it's sickening. We should now be asking those who are going in the government before their confirmation process. There's a new date. They should be able to declare the asset publicly. I know poor high them, they are afraid to do that. Don't be afraid. I'm sure Councillor and Big Brother Kofi, if he's going to be confirmed, he has got to declare his asset to Liberian people.
Kofi Woods?
I'm going to ask him to declare that.
You mean Kofi Woods?
Yes.
You are a national security advisor.
I'm going to be having conversation with those who I know a good number of them, right? I'm going to go to them personally. The law sets the minimum basic, but it does not going to hurt anyone if you declare your asset publicly. It's going to be good for us. Let's know what you have now, and then we can find a way in order to track that over time. Now, the law.
So because we didn't know what Georgia came with, that suggests that he was, robbing us of resources that does not belong to him. And
it'll be easier.
That do not belong to him, and he was taking those resources into his personal coffers.
It's going to be very easy to do that. So I know where he stands. He stands on transparency. And this regime, the president, has bags of integrity. Bags. Now, in order to serve for him, you need to be able to develop a small bag of your own if you do not have that right now. One of the things to do, which all those are in government to do, for expediency, for the new day, has been projected by our new president, is that they should openly declare that. Why are they afraid? If you're afraid, they say, look,
I mean,
who goes after them?
Councillor Kanga, you jump into our next, talking point.
yeah.
Let's deal with the first one.
Yeah, so-
right. So you talk a bit. You mentioned the ugly because it's a summary briefing that we want you to give us. So let's look at the bad of we are.
Yeah, now we're talking about
we have
the
regime.
good. Right, okay, so
We talk about the ugly. Let's talk about the bad.
what was actually bad about the government was the government inability to develop a budget that will cater to public sector investment. The budget of the previous government was usually tied to salaries. And so most of what would be in a budget would get to pay salary. There's no program. For example, the Governing Commission was unable to declare on projects or activities within community that will have to do with thinking of the people that will lead to the reform of the law. Even the sector such as the Human Rights Commission, they had no money in there to carry on programs like the Law Reform Commission. So folks were just there, they were sitting. Of course, because of that, they were unable to assist the Liberian people, the Liberian National Police as well. If you went in, I go to that police every other day. There are police investigators trained very well in and outside Liberia. They have no logistics. If they had a logistic, it's going to be improperly used. For example, a director would take a police car and keep it to the house. When you come into work, he actually brings the car. That I got to change, right? So that was actually bad, right? If you want to actually turn that. So as a result, we're unable to get service delivery of engaging in public sector investment.
Let's look at the good.
Now,
what's good? What was good about the
well,
Weir's
there's
administration?
stuff actually good about the Weir administration.
Except you're looking at it with a pessimistic eye.
Indeed, it's not going to be everything going to be bad. There was some good things. What can I remember that would have been good of that?
I see the councillor struggling to find it.
The good. Yeah, you got the ugly,
the ugly
bad.
it was quick.
Perfectly. But to get the good is difficult for him.
Yeah.
We had a period that actually inspired a lot of young people in order to seek leadership, even if they were not educated. And that was good.
Okay.
Because leadership cannot be tied towards one being super educated.
Because people became aspired.
Oh yeah. There was a workshop that was conducted my son came and attended a workshop, and he said, look, I was at that workshop and he saw Jefferson Kochi in our website, and he was lecturing young people and said, look, you need to be persistent, if you needed to get he was working for something, you need to get it, be persistent. I was persistent, and so with persistency I got it over time. You keep fighting. That inspired a lot of young people, that they felt that they could go into leadership.
So that fellow young people getting opportunities, right. And a youthful president as well.
No, and that was the wrong thing. Joey was not a youth.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a wrong.
No, I asked the question.
Yeah.
Because I put it that way because that's what many people would describe him all the time. What he served.
Yeah, so he was not
a leader ball.
Yeah, but a lot of people felt that with little or no education, you can ascribe for higher heart, which was good. And we need to even maintain that the young people should think right now that they are leaders in whatever they do. They've got to be responsible.
But isn't the Weir story in itself a motivation for young people?
Yeah.
Coming from Gibraltar, playing football, dropping from high school, going back after conquering the war, returning and going back to high school, completing, going back to university, getting a master's, coming here, contesting, and becoming senator. Later becoming president. And isn't that his story?
Inspiring.
Isn't that something worth? Yeah,
I think it is a story about most Liberians. You understand that Liberia is extremely poor. In order to move out of poverty, you got to go through hardship. For example, the story of President Bouaga right now is a sad story. He told you that. Yeah, he had been saying that in private. He had said that in private as a young man at the YMCA, lecturing young people to believe in himself. As I grew up and I continue to interact with him, he keeps saying the story. Now the story is codified, so it's not unique to to we have, for example, if Dr. Abakanga would even say his own story, how he even went to school, he actually had to self-read, right? And now he went and he has a PhD. So the story is not unique to him as we are, because we are poor. If he were to say that, for example, in London, right, it's going to have a different connotation, right? Then yeah, if you were to ask me of my own story, right, how did you begin counselor? It's going to actually be replica of what the leaders are now. But beside the point, it doesn't matter where you come from, right? The content of a character is key, and that is why you be thinking on changing the country in a way that we start doing new things now. We don't wait.
Well, Julius, except you want to deal with the first,
No, I think it's okay. Except that to get a good side of it, it was a bit difficult.
Yeah, yeah. So, but Council, let's look at, you've been around here for some time now. How many inaugurations? Julius have seen a lot of inaugurations.
No, to the best of my knowledge,
right.
I think 2005 I was not here, but Taylor's time I was here, and so Taylor says there's a 3 inauguration.
So I've seen this is my 3rd inauguration.
No, this is the 3rd myself.
Yeah, the 3rd.
We got it 2005. I was not here.
Right. 20.
I was out of country.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
All right. So let's look at the inaugural program. All right. Some of us we term it in so many ways because we were there covering it. We saw some things that ethically or fundamentally should not have happened. All right, those things happen. You watched the program from the comfort of your home with your kids while your wife attended the program. Let's begin with the account of your wife. What did she bring? What did she say? What was the experience or personal experience?
Well, I was seated in front of the television set, and my kids were there, and they were all filing. And we begin to observe misstep. But the greatest of the misstep was the fact that whilst the president was in speech, right, the play was so heated, and he was sweating, and he was even wiping his face with his right hand, right? And later on, because of the heat, he has to actually cut the speech shorter. That was so scaring for me and my kids. Like my younger daughter, one of my daughters, Evelyn, she began to pray. I said, "What are you praying?" She began to pray, and my son, they were all afraid. They were scared.
Like myself, I was instantly afraid.
Yeah,
So I was watching it.
The way the program was going, right? So the guys were afraid. Now, the program was so disorganized to the point that a protocol officer was actually displacing the fact that they disorganized the program. There was no hour to walk through. For example, the session that was being conducted by the speakers, it was poorly done because people were just all over. It is not arranged well, and so it was poor. You could not find the choir, even the way the choir was singing. They tried to actually capture them, but you could not actually view
But
them.
let me rectify something, Council. There was an eye. But like you said, disorganized, so the hour was closed. A lot of people were all over the hour.
On several times, the protocol officer would simply clear the eye. On several occasions.
Yeah, when a protocol officer says that, it tells you the program is disorganized.
Absolutely.
Because the protocol should have arranged those places.
With the security.
And they should have known how many persons to invite. They should have known how many persons were in that hall.
How many chairs to carry.
Let's take a step back. Now, this country, our last peaceful transition, right, was in 2018. Right, 2018 when George Weah came to power, our last peaceful political transition.
Right.
And so the history says it was 70 years. It means that there are a lot of knowledge that we have actually lost within that period of 70 years. Those who arranged the protocol in 70 years, we don't find it any longer. And most so, we did not document most of those. I could be wrong.
How was it in 70 years? In 70 years, how was the program? How were the protocols, exhibiting professionalism and ensuring that the programs were successful? That these people now are having these missteps and they cannot align with what was done in the last 70 years.
So in 70 years' time, without reading, right, I'll be unable to discuss that. But I will be able to discuss a little bit 2018. Which was 70 years after a peace, for which a peaceful transition actually occurred. The 2018 arrangement, as compared to that of the 2024 arrangement, you see there were missteps in not just both of them, but it became actually clear indeed that there is something lacking. And so the 24 program, it actually did not follow the trend, the pattern of the 2018. There were,
even though
Yeah.
even though you're saying that the 2018 also had its own missteps, but the 2024
was better.
deviated completely from
indeed.
anything that was a semblance of professionalism of the 2018 ceremony.
Indeed. Now, and so understanding that there was the missteps, especially as everyone can actually now see for the 2024, because it's fresh in our minds, we still have that. It now behooves us as a country to develop what I would refer to as a presidential inaugural protocol.
Like 6 years after.
No,
that would be 6 years.
6 years just tomorrow.
You can start training them.
The
Yeah,
way
6
you
years
have that
after.
to do, once you develop the presidential transitional law, it will set the blueprint. Because we need to do it right now. If we don't do that, we might make the same mistakes. So you select one or two of your scholars, they do an assessment of what was actually experienced 2018. They do an assessment of what was actually done in 2024, and then they come up with a recommendation, and that recommendation will then feed into what you now refer to as presidential transitional protocol. But that protocol should then take into place, because the Constitution is actually silent, right? As at the time someone is elected and in that period for which the person actually assumed power. The assessment should cover that particular period. And in that period, what should be done in that entire period for the transitional process to be successful? So you have a transitional program in there, the transitional activities, and then you have the inaugural program. Now, if you do not do that now, you may have misstep 6 years down the line. So there's time, we got to clean that now. We'll get a law in place quickly as possible. And then you begin to train people. Now, you saw, for example, the Chief Justice, when she was called to the podium, she went there and she said, look, all I'm now doing is awaiting the time.
Awaiting the time.
And
Yes.
she's like, I'm awaiting the time. Now, it means that we did not have a rehearsal. There should have been a rehearsal. If she had to be doing something, for example, she would be doing that. If we only call her 1 minute to that event, we can do that in the law I'm talking about, right? A presidential transitional act or a presidential transitional law. The law will have two components. As I think about it right now, but I'm sure if we can have the kind of bigger conversation on it, we can structure that well. But one portion would be the entire transitional period. At the time the president concedes defeat, or at the time a new president elected, what is going to be happening within the entire government
within that period?
Yeah,
it should be rehearsal.
Yeah.
The rehearsal should go on, and how is going to.
And then you now have the inaugural program that is actually the climax of all of that work, and this has got to be the best.
So I have a question. I think I need clarity on this. When the Chief Justice kept saying, "I'm waiting for the time," was that wrong constitutionally?
It means that there was no activity for her to do. She just kept waiting. Now,
But then why the protocol officer had to call her on stage? But they knew that the time had not reached.
Because it was poorly arranged. Now, the Chief Justice is to perform an oath,
right?
And that oath should be.
So immediately she leaves her seat, she's going to administer straight.
She's not going to make another statement. She's going. If you had a protocol arranged, as I'm discussing it now, a law done, right? She will know exactly the time to go there. Probably she's going to go there like a few seconds to 12, and then she invite the entire process start, right? And if you did that, you're going to have a unique program. Another thing that actually is missing in the entire framework, the outgoing president, right, who is sitting in the throne, you saw the beautiful chair president sitting along with the vice president. The protocol, as it was, had limited activity for them. For example, we have a component in the program, all right, a sacred aspect in which a ritual is performed. That ritual is called admittance into the sacred order or the secret order of the pioneers.
Okay.
For example, the president is a member, right, of that sacred order of pioneer.
Right.
So
he was admitted in 2018.
Yes, he's a member of that order. And not only is he a member, but former President Salif is also in that order, and the number of people that are in that order. Right. That ceremony itself, if you were to do a law, should involve them. They should be the one to even admit the new president into that order.
Because they are veterans.
You mean
of
the
the-
outgoing president, vice president?
Yes,
Okay.
and made that president. You need to have. We gotta do things different to Christian uniqueness. You understand that Liberia is sitting in a very critical position. We are the first country that actually claimed independent or got independent in Africa, the first black.
Mhm.
So we should be setting the framework. But what was done in the hours extremely disgrace. We have president from as far as
Other
China,
countries, yeah.
the vice president of China. Then we have our neighboring president. They men love Liberia so much, always advising us. They want us to actually get our country to be better than Ghana. Right? The Ghanaian president was yes again.
Mhm.
Whenever and he sat there. Now, and what was happening? They didn't like that.
No, they didn't.
It was disgrace to us.
So who do you blame? Do you blame the outgoing president or you blame the protocol officers? Because again, I saw the foreign minister. The foreign minister was searching the incoming president.
The foreign minister was doing that, but there was another fellow there who had a black, and he was interfering. He did not even know how to search the president.
That you're talking about the defense minister, the former defense
That's
minister.
the point. That's the point I'm driving
Yeah,
at.
he
And so
did
I
not
saw
know-
the foreign minister performing his duty,
Yeah.
and then another guy was there.
Exactly.
I think they did it the wrong way first. I was watching it.
He
and
did not
I was in
know
studio.
how to do that because he has not been trained into it. We do not have to go and train people on the stage there. At the stage is performing. Our president was being admitted into a sacred order of the pioneers. Right?
And other members of the pioneers were seated.
Other members of the pioneer were seated. We did not invite them. And that is why you need conversation around these things to set the entire transitional process into a legal framework. It's the law that can actually get it done. And then before that even happens, there's going to be rehearsal. There's going to be activity because
So admitting them, is it legal? Is it constitutional? Because I want to understand. Is it constitutional? Does the law say that?
now there is nothing that is wrong with doing that. Right? I think we even know it enhance that. Other than saying it's just the order of the pioneers.
Because my point
But-
is that
the-
what is not done completely is not done at all.
Listen, it has been our mode
Mhm.
of admitting our leaders into that order. But it's time now that we enhance that order, but it's the law that can do that. Now, so if we draft a law, instead of probably calling the order of the pioneers, we can now start discussing the order of the pioneers and the order of our chiefs, or whatever name we can call it. But probably call it the Zulu Doma order. But we're not actually getting an order that will reflect a name of Liberians. And I didn't see that. You saw the person was in a traditional attire, all right? And then he went there, he was being admitted in that order. And so we know have a framework that it will actually represent us. It will actually represent some name that will actually show for what. So we want to be pioneers. You know, is it by pioneers we're talking about all of our leaders, or by pioneers we're talking about those who are the refugees that actually came here? But it should reflect us. Like this is a place that you have three group of people in the place, right? In terms of the religious background, the Christian background, and you found people Islamic background, and then our African schools. So it's a mixture of things. So that order should be able to reflect our identity as a people. I like that, and I want for the continue that. But that should be done with blueprint. We need to get the law. In the absence of a law, it's difficult in order to actually assess. To know if we are done it. There are other countries that are doing that.
Council, I know this the latter part of the conversation you're just gonna run through it because it's an advice it's a caution to the new regime. But I just want to ask a few specific questions, right? Concerning first the person that presided, the chairperson of the inaugural committee, Julius. That's
Auntie Miata family.
Remember, there's one thing I must say this. When George Weah was elected president of Liberia, Auntie Miata family and her brother H. Boma family refused to live in Liberia. They said they could not.
They've been
live
living
here.
in Ghana
Yeah,
too.
they moved out of Liberia. They went to Ghana. Well, for me, until they provided the explanation behind that, but the only thing I can guess is that maybe they saw that a countryman became president, and then he didn't have much experience about governance and all of that. He's president. There's no way they would live in a nation where a man who did not get the education they acquire to serve as president in. Years after, these educated people, Miata family, is back into Liberia. She's giving her first task to organize an inaugural program. Hence, the blunder. Calling on outgoing deputy and assistant ministers to vacate their seats so that we can show hospitality to our foreign guests. Was that the icing of the disgrace that we encounter at the program, or just the beginning of the disgrace?
I think this is the thing. Well, Auntie Mianta and her brother, and they have contributed in many ways
Right.
to the country.
Absolutely.
And once I'm not in a position to discuss wildlife, but no, I've heard it. I remember one time, I think with that farmer that he said, I think when other child did won an election, a special election, I think that a farmer that said he was going to live, he was going to the mountain. I think he even left the country, right? Now, but it's the right of any of us,
Right.
to leave and to
Yeah,
come back.
right.
But what is important to note is that in the absence of a procedure or framework, people can do anything. But everyone saw in the misstep. But sometimes Liberians will have this situation, we discuss it and we just leave it. We don't have to leave this one.
We don't have to leave it.
No, we don't have to. We need to be able to have a system here where we develop a law, a protocol law that will have to actually deal with the period at which an election actually ended, and the president, a new president, actually going to be sworn in the next year, in January. That time is too long. Now, once is long, what do we do in the interim? I saw that it was late, I think 2 weeks or maybe a month, when President Weah then appointed a joint transitional team, right? What can you do in that? But in the absence of a law, it's difficult. You cannot say the president was wrong in doing it or he was right in doing it. Then that's what we need a law. There's a gap right there. Yeah.
So fast forward, if we do not have a law, another person may be asked to chair the transition, the inaugural committee, and they employ their own ideas that may even be worse than what we experience.
Indeed.
Let's move on. So today, the nation now sits with the reality of a new regime. If you were asked to caution the Boyaka's administration hours into its existence, what would you pinpoint?
Well, the only caution that we can actually have right now is the agenda and the conversation of the president himself, right? The president has told us that this regime is going to be the one that will be nationalistic and it's going to be inclusive, right? So let's follow that. Let ensure that it's nationalistic as much as possible, and that's going to be inclusive as much as possible. And we shall depart from the past, right? Departing from the past, once the law says, the law can say something, but the law actually provide a minimum standard. This government won on the basis of transparency, accountability, right? So those who are going to be going to government, they should not narrow themselves to the law says this. It's not going to hurt. What the law does not say, it does not hurt. Publishing your asset is not going to hurt anyone. It's only going to promote good governance and transparency. And I will ask those folks who are going to be confirmed, right? Either before your confirmation or after your confirmation, do the honorable thing to depart from the past. Declare your asset.
Today, the LCC is still after outgoing government officials to do exit declaration. That you came in here, you told us earlier in your declaration that you had 50,000. Now you're leaving government. Tell us how much you're living with, even though we've been paying you with civil servants, with taxpayers' money and things. So tell us what we're doing. A lot of people are struggling. If you see the report from the LCC, it will tell you that in fact majority of the outgoing government officials are afraid to disclose. Why is it difficult for people to do these things?
Folks, in the absence of laws or in the absence of a fair implementation of the law, you are going to have those. And one of the things that is lacking, for which you find that the LSCC is struggling to do that, is the absence of an ombudsman. The office of the ombudsman is so key in order to promote and enhance transparency in government, good governance, and ethical standing. That's why we actually formed that. But we have that framework today in place, and up to now, we have not had an ombudsman office in order to regulate. Because once the ombudsman is in place, it is that office job to ensure that they will be going after the issue of publication of one asset, to ensure that the code of conduct is then being implemented. If you want to get the country different, you must do things differently. Right? To track that the public is interested in it. For the fact that the public is interested in it, even if you are a senator, you declare your stuff to neck. It's in secret. Tell the folks, say, please discuss. I understand that the Senate Pro Tem Young Lead, I understand that during her concession speech also, she says that you are going to disclose her asset. If that is true, I will also do that because she's my family woman. If that is not true, I want to urge her to do that. Look, small sister, the Honorable Pro Tem, please declare your asset to the Liberian people.
And tell your colleagues to do so.
And tell your colleague to do so. We need to do something different. It's a country now that's actually on the rescue mission. The rescue mission should have different agenda. The agenda is transparency, accountability, good governance. We cannot do anything less than that. My dear small sister, I'm not call her to tell her this. I can text her about this. I can go to her office and actually tell her that. But I'm telling her in the public manner that she needs to be able to declare that asset. The law does not say she should do that, but you have to go above the law to be someone different.
To be different and lead by example. Let's quickly join the public there and have a conversation with them. But beginning with the birthday man, Representative Solomon Claudius George.
We are your guests.
I already told Julius to key your song. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Yeah, your song is queued already. At the end of the show, we're gonna play it. Happy birthday, Honorable George. Happy birthday. Councillor Kanga wants to wish you happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Honorable, happy birthday. And I wish you well. I know you are going to continue on what you continue to do, caring for people, providing for them. So I wish you well. I know you have your Bible there with you this morning. You are reading that. So he has a Bible already.
Right, it's a speaker. So you say you got a Bible with you?
Yes, in my head already.
What scripture are you reading right now?
The one I'm reading right now is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 15 down.
What it says?
In this useless life of mine, two things have I seen or noticed. The righteous man perishing in his righteousness, and the wicked man prolonging his life in his wickedness.
Yeah.
Why should you hold on to just one of it? Hold on to both. One hand, take the other.
Thank you.
This political life we live in, we have been too sweet to people. When I say people, I'm not talking about those that put us up.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those that will meet up there. We conglomerate with them. We help them to become, and they take us to be fools. We need to start, Matthias and Councillor, if you people can recall.
Today that your birthday.
Yes.
Today that your birthday.
I've been prophesying.
Just tell us, look, I know. I say, Honorable George. Honorable George.
Some people in the Ghana must go back and chunk them out of the system. You listen. What you fail to deal with, will deal with you.
Okay, today's a birthday. She tell us that you're killing cow, you're killing gold, you can't drink gold. So not did that politics.
The blood of Jesus Christ has been shed already for that. From West Point. My people from West Point, they brought me. I see all type of fish. You see them.
Well, come in. No.
So you got me pursue that
after the show. Julius and I will be there.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, happy birthday.
Yeah, Julius, tell him for me.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, DJ J, Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Yeah. No. Well, let's engage the public. Call us on those numbers: 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223. The numbers you can call us and to participate. We have just a few minutes to go. Just squeezing your
when you call, be brief.
Right. Yeah. Just squeezing your calls. We have Councillor Finlay Kangai. Well, today we just got to know that he's the big brother to the Senate.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you. 30 seconds. What's your name? Where do you join us from?
Thanks so kindly for affording me a platform. Michael Kotomo is my name.
30 seconds, Michael.
I listened to the Leonard Council. Well, he spoke exactly what the Liberian people want. If we say this to Ambassador Bakai, this regime, the campaign on a basis of integrity. Not sit down here, we allow people who feel that they know too much to mislead us. People are willingly to contribute towards the inauguration committee. But some people stand out there and say, no, that I want accountability, marginalized all other people went down there and mess up, make that plane not to be heated up. You can go where certain brother buy nothing, put it there.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. People in the country have PA system. Go to the system, but you go selling for rapid PA system.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to line 2. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to
Is it Zach Bimbo? Zach, your line is by. You change your location somewhere and talk to us quickly.
That man, he lives all the way up a Cardwell. So the
Zach,
network
let's hear
is
you.
giving him problem.
Okay, thank you.
No, we can't continue with
Zach,
that.
we can't continue. You can call back. You can call back. You can call back, Zach. We can't continue with you. Your line is terrible. Let's go to line 1. Good morning.
Good morning, Julius.
Good morning. Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Jerry Singer fan.
30 seconds.
Yes. His words spoken by the councillor is very, very knowledgeable of all the parts of the present. Some of the things that brought the overheating is that Mela, you were not there, Mataya were not there, all were there. That's not the point. This particular mistake, it was calculated. Yes. It was very much calculated. That woman many, and she will give a kind of that money.
Oh man. No.
Yes.
Anyway.
No, I don't think.
Anyway, that's a view.
That's a view. That's a view.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
the accuser that
I don't think she managed. The woman will not do that. 07777 0772221 If you are out of the country, you want to participate, the WhatsApp number is +231 777 How will you say the woman?
Yeah, the people are accusing her now of siphoning the money and spending a little.
I haven't seen the headline on the front page Africa this morning that said who ate JNB money, and they're talking about the campaign. I mean the inaugural money. But let's go here. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name? 30 seconds. Oh, you off the line. Let's go to the next line. Good morning on this side.
Good morning, big Jesus.
Good morning.
Good morning to Matthias. And good morning to the councillor.
Let's hear
Thank you. And I call you from the committee, Samanima Village.
Let's hear you quickly. 30 seconds.
Let me say thank you to the councillor. Matthias, I listened to the councillor and he spoke very well, and you asked him questions concerning about the bad ways of the president, the badness of the government, the previous government.
Right.
He made it clear, Matthias. There was a lot of trust in the community. The commissioner was here. She served this place. She treated people on a land issue. A lot of things that she did here. This is why the outgoing government have received the defeat of the Liberian people. Some of us will live here, support Unity Party, and we were a fair ball. One or the other, we live in the hands of the Almighty.
Thank you. Let's go this side. Good morning.
The last person, Julius.
Julius.
Good morning. Quickly, what's your name?
My name is Nathan Kevin. Okay, Madam From, let me give you a question, because when the user stage, she was not in the picture, and the later in the picture had some team that was going to stay. I think, but later on, Madam From team, she excluded everybody name from on that list, and she made two.
How did you know? Were you there? Were you involved?
Yes, I was part of the first team, and we were to go for 1 week training before the program.
Okay.
So when she came in,
that's an allegation anyway. All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to the last caller. Zach Bimbo, welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Let me commend the councillor for his splendid deliberation. He has spoken well, and I'm of the strongest conviction that the councillor will remain critical on national issue. I just want to extend an open invitation to the council to governance and council. I will try to get your number from Julius or Matthias so that you can be our legal advisor for the independent acting for good governance as we scrutinize government officials.
Thank you.
While they are performing their duties. Thank you so much, Julius, for it.
Thank you. Let's go to the international line. Good morning. Where do you join us from?
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Boa. I'm joining you from Norway.
Emmanuel, let's hear you.
Yes, first of all, I want to congratulate the incoming government. I want to wish them well. I hope that our nation will continue to progress. Yes, listen to the Lion Councillor, especially concerning the inaugural program. I think it is right and befitting for us to have laws put into place on how this program should be performed.
Okay.
I think it is very necessary because you have to have procedures and protocols that you should follow. But if these things are not written and binded by laws, then people do whatever they wish to do. And I think that is wrong. We should have specific place where the inaugural program should be held, what should be done at a particular point in time. So like you saw, the flaws in this program was too much, too many of it. And so I think it is befitting for us to put laws into place that will govern the procedures process of the inaugural program in the future.
Thank you.
From the day the party president concede up to the time the incoming president takes the oath of office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we will give 5 additional time, Matthias.
Well, let's join the councilor now. Or
Yeah,
you want to?
yes, some international callers were calling. So let's try another one is here. Let's talk to the final one. Then we can give time. Good morning. Where you calling from?
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
We better. What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel Mark, and I'm calling from the U.S., Philadelphia.
You got 30 seconds, please, man.
I think the entire inauguration process fully planned. I think we Liberians should use this as an opportunity to learn more and do well and play well. Because if you look at the entire stage, everyone passing up and down, there was no good protocol. People coming there, people have to wake up from that chair to sit down. I mean, this is an international or a very important program. Not every Dick and Harris has to go over there. If even there is a big bulletin board, like gigantic TV have to be all over the place for people to stand and watch the occasion, let them watch it. Not everybody need to go over there, especially we do not have the type of capacity.
Okay.
But I want to thank you so much. It was fully planned, and I think we have to do well next time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Julius,
Our
Julius,
final
let me-
caller there. Final caller. Okay, get a caller there.
Hello, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning, Matthias.
30 seconds, please.
Yeah, let me also say good morning to Councilor Finlay Studio. I mean, it's very important for us to note that the newly elected government, all of us have got the responsibility to pray that it succeeds. But in that same token, I'm, humbly appeal to your audience. Today marks the birth anniversary of what we consider a fatherly figure for all of us